Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rea, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Papua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Makanisi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in Ba.
Bula, my name is Isal. I've been listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, Wales holds back Fiji from quarter-final spot. Human Rights Director calls out political parties. And FSC begins dismantling Penang Mill.
From the studios of FBC Suva, I'm Rita Sagar.
The Vodafone Fiji 7 side needs to beat New Zealand in its last pool match to guarantee a spot in the Cup quarter-final of the Hong Kong tournament. Fiji outclassed Japan 36-0 in its opening match yesterday, but were held 17-all by Wales in the last hour. We faced New Zealand in the last pool match at 9:12 p.m. today. Now, the dismantling of the Penang Mill in Raki will begin soon, following a decision to shut it down. The Fiji Sugar Corporation senior management met with mill workers yesterday, assuring they will be treated with respect and fairness during this process. Alan Stoltz tells us more.
The Fiji Sugar Corporation is focused on moving the industry forward, and Chief Executive Graham Clark says the Penang Mill doesn't fit into their plans.
You know, these ideas of building a new mill or replacing the mill on the site, in my opinion, are technically ill-founded. I don't believe that there's a justifiable commercial case, especially when you consider a replacement factory of this size could cost anything between $100 and $150 million. So
the total cost of reinstating factory operations here on the site is estimated to be between $40 to $50 million. And with half of the staff already being deployed to other mills, Clark says that it's only a matter of time before this 137-year-old mill is slowly dismantled.
You don't close a mill and leave it in this condition. So it'll be in a very structured format. We'll take care of safety, people and the assets on the site as we go about it. So you'll see a gradual progression of the mill site being dismantled and cleared and made safe.
FSC is still waiting for half of the mill workers to decide whether they want to continue working for the corporation so that they can be redeployed. Cane farmers in Ra are still trying to come to terms with the closure of the mill. Too much problems for us if the mill doesn't work. Taking sugarcane from here to Mba is very far.
It's difficult for us to take the sugarcane to Mba, and in our opinion, if they start to dump the cane here in Rakiraki, it will be a bit easier for us.
Clark stresses that the sugarcane industry does have a viable future, one that largely depends on the strength and unity of its stakeholders, especially the farmers. Ellen Stoltz, FBC News.
The Fiji Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission is calling on political parties not to politicize human rights issues leading up to elections. Director Ashwin Raj says he has only spoken out against racism, discrimination and hate speech, which should be supported by all political leaders.
The preamble of the Constitution.
Human Rights Director Ashwin Raj has been targeted by the Social Democratic Liberal Party and the National Federation Party this week.
Political parties have decided to launch an assault on the National Human Rights Commission for doing the job that the National Human Rights Commission should rightfully do. Imagine a National Human Rights Commission that does not stand up to hate speech and racism. So we've got a very bizarre situation in Fiji.
For him to come out and say that we are giving credence to hate speech or racism is rubbish, and we condemn that manipulation.
Sodelpa leader Sitiveni Rambuka has labelled Raj a co-oppressor with the Fiji First government, while NFP leader Professor Biman Prasad claims Raj is trying to stifle political parties by suggesting that social media should be regulated. Raj has rejected any such motive, saying hate speech and racial attacks are prominent on social media.
The independence of the National Human Rights Commission is also about being free from attacks of political parties. Now, attacking a National Human Rights Commission because the Human Rights Commission has spoken out against racism, right? Isn't that itself an anathema to the Paris Principles?
Mr. Raj is not some kind of god. I mean, if you look at social media comments on people like us who are leaders. And in fact, there is a known supporter of the government and attacks me personally and my family in the most vicious way. I have never complained about that.
The Director of Human Rights also says political parties must not use human rights issues as campaign material leading up to elections next year. Attempts to contact Sodelpa leader Sitiveni Rambuka were unsuccessful. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
Very few properties in Fiji are insured, and Economy Minister Syed Qayyum says part of the problem is the high demand put on compliance. Syed Qayyum highlighted the issue during a panel discussion on building resilience to natural disasters and climate change yesterday. Savara Tambor reports the overall insurance is only 10%.
The lack of insurance meant thousands of people had no money to rebuild after tropical cyclone Winston.
You have a lot of low-cost housing areas, you have factories, manufacturing plants, etc. The damage would have been, enormous. But a lot of the buildings are insured. So it has made us think about, well, how do we actually ensure that we do get insurance or some form of insurance?
Japan International Cooperation Agency Vice President Hanshuki Kanzaki says that disaster risk insurance is vital to ensuring that communities and economies are able to bounce back from the financial impact of natural disasters.
This framework promotes Build Back Better in post-disaster reconstruction as a priority for action, and also stresses the importance of ensuring a seamless transition from disaster relief to reconstruction and development derived from our own experiences.
Meanwhile, Syed Qayyum also says that companies from Australia and New Zealand had refused to insure Fijian properties because we are seen as a high-risk country.
We are talking at the moment to the President of the Insurance Council of getting, for example, some external tie-downs of roofs, which is hopefully far less inexpensive than doing a retrofit. And if we are able to do that, but be able to work with the private sector to maybe get a cap on the level of insurance.
The government has already spent $120 million to help Fijians rebuild their homes destroyed by Typhoon Winston. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
Fiji is one of the few countries in the Asia-Pacific region where inequality levels have decreased. Minister for Economy Ayaz Syed Qayyum says an assessment was carried out by the government to ensure all Fijians get equal opportunities. Speaking at the Pacific Islands Forum Secretariat's public seminar on income inequality in Suva yesterday, Syed Qayyum said a lot of steps have been taken to support women empowerment projects.
These trends, ladies and gentlemen, have shown significant improvement with also the latest household income expenditure survey, showing that, as opposed to what was shown on the screen, that the extreme poverty and poverty levels in Fiji is now dropped below 30%.
Those are countries that are broadly characterized by strong growth. So again, growth is a necessary component for inequality reduction on a sustained basis.
Still to come, more acceptance needed for children with autism. And women encouraged to become entrepreneurs.
हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मिर्ची है, हम गोल्ड टाउन ताबुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन ताबुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश ताबुआ में रहता है, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Hundreds of people watched the iconic Fiji Marriott Resort Momi Bay come alive as Prime Minister Varange Bainimarama opened the luxury resort this afternoon. Owned by the Fiji National Provident Fund and managed by the Marriott Group, the 250-room resort stretches around the 400 acres and cost less than $200 million to construct. Ellen Stoltz with more.
It's a project that has taken 12 years to materialize. The Prime Minister Varange Bainimarama told guests present that years of delays, bad debts and neglect has finally paid off with the opening of this new resort today.
Today marks the end of the saga of neglect and disappointment. Today, what was once a stain on Fiji's reputation is a shining jewel on top of the crown of our tourism industry. Today is a proud day, a day of celebration that shows how far we have come as a nation.
FNPF Chair Ajit Godagoda says in 2014, when the board made the decision to bring in the Marriott Group to manage the resort, the project would finally come into being.
Did we complete the project in time in spite of Cyclone Winston? We also built it under the project cost. We now have a hotel which is valued in excess of 200 million and 370 freehold landlords, which itself is valued in excess of 200 million.
Godagoda adds FNPF board and management are committed to advancing the growth of the tourism industry in Fiji and is now a huge player in the industry. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
Autism in Fiji needs more attention and support. Suva Special School yesterday marked Autism Awareness Day, and parents of autistic children say they are being marginalized. Pranita Prakash reports.
Autism is a growth disability often characterized by speech difficulties, social awkwardness and repetitive behavior. Cecilia Radule knows how hard it is to raise an autistic child, especially when family and friends don't understand.
It was a nightmare going to town. We couldn't even attend birthday parties because people did not understand. They would look at him like he was abnormal. And we'd get disparaging remarks and comments that we didn't raise our child well. And it's been really quite challenging.
The mother of 4 says she was in denial for a long time and wasn't ready to accept the fact that something was wrong with her son, but by the time he turned 1, it was obvious he was different. Radule says autistic children need support because they can learn to become independent, productive individuals.
Autistic children, we need supporters that are committed to getting them the help they deserve in the form of social programs, education, safety, employment opportunities, so that they could truly be autonomous and achieve self-determination.
Pediatrician Dr. Kelera Namundu says medical staff in Fiji are now able to recognize children with signs of autism.
Diagnosing any child with any form of developmental delay has started to emerge more in our day-to-day work. Not all children who seek medical attention are sick in the usual sense, with a cough or injury, and more parents or guardians have become attained or aware of behavioral or developmental issues in their child.
The theme for this year is toward autonomy and self-determination. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Education Ministry is looking at more schools to accommodate children with disabilities. The Education Minister says these schools are called inclusive schools, and the ministry has provided additional support whereby wheelchairs can be used in classrooms and washrooms.
The reason why we have established these schools is because not every child can come to a special school in an area. So in this regard, we are now getting more and more schools to accommodate children with disability.
A large crowd gathered in Namakanandi this morning to witness the opening of a new BLK retail outlet. This store will be the company's 4th outlet, selling sporting merchandise and gear for all types of sports. People lined the streets from as early as 9 o'clock to take advantage of their opening sale. The opening of this new store comes on the back of an increase in the demand for BLK from consumers both locally and abroad. Women artisans have been urged to continuously improve the quality of their work and aim for the Fijian-made branding of their products. During a final craft show in Rewa, the Minister for Women, Mereseni Buniwanga, challenged women to be agents of change. 25 women from Rewa will be selected for the National Women's Expo, which places emphasis on the quality of crafts and products. It is designed to inspire women to be financially independent and motivated to becoming entrepreneurs. Buniwanga asked the women to have crafts which appeal to the traditional and also to the tourist market. Up ahead in sports, the latest from the Hong Kong Sevens. And Lautoka takes out first leg of CVC. This and more after the break.
I'm Rafnil from Nepal and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Stan Gudla and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Rugby, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in Nasalai Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inai Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from La Paz. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
As mentioned earlier, the Vodafone Fiji 7 side were held by Wales 17 all in its second pool match at the Hong Kong Sevens. Here are the match highlights.
Shoots it one wider across to Kunavula. And now Williams shoots it long to the flyer, who skips clear and dots it down. They come to the try scorer, Luke Morgan, trying to back himself on the outside. He's quick, he's real quick. Across to Ravovo. Ravovo does it with ease. Vadamo, Ravovo. Davis on the wraparound. Morgan on the angled run. Tuai's going to try and get back and catch him. Morgan, big Tuai. Morgan wins the race. And Wales going. Fiji forced to defend. They get the turnover. Fiji come away with it. Nasila Silla. Fiji go in. And he has hooked it. Colin Isao misses.
The Gareth Baber coach side thumped Japan 36-0 in its opening pool match yesterday to start its title defense on a high note. Here are the match highlights.
Ravovo holds the ball up, gets it out the back for Tuai, in, away, and gone for Fiji. Japan through Lisala. Out it comes, Ravovo sniffing. Ravovo read it so well, and this is his 50th try coming up. The big 5-0 for Vadamo Ravovo.
Well, surely that just comes from outstanding Fijian pressure.
The right. An opportunity here for the Fijian big man to open up. Katoni Mbao tosses it back inside to Colin Isao. Go now through Nathungu. Nathungu is going to set up a race towards the line now. Switch to Lutu Mailangi. Oh, they're having some fun now, Fiji. Switch. Fiji backing their way towards the line. The offload's a ripper. And Jerry Tuai's in for number 2.
You know, in the true tradition of Fiji rugby, I mean, they're born with an innate ability to keep continuity in the game, high risk levels of offloading skills, which we all love to see. But I want them to be as robust as possible when they're under pressure. I want them to be as robust as possible when they haven't got the ball as well, you know, something that will certainly win tournaments. And, you know, we're educating the players and developing that and bringing the new players in to do that, and that's the thought process.
Queen Victoria School won the Under-15 division title of the Vodafone Fiji Secondary Schools Rugby League competition today. The side defeated Ratu Kandavulevu 14-10 in the final.
Remember what was said by the principal, seniors from the school, and coaches, managers. That was the thing that was said to question to the field.
Laline Memorial School defeated Nasinu Secondary 12-10 in the Under-17 division final, while the Under-19 results will be announced later. Now, the Fiji Rugby Union today presented a cheque of $5,461 actually to the Cure Kids Fiji in support of the ongoing work they are doing. The organisation is working hard to find solutions to some of the most serious threats to children's health in Fiji. The money presented was fundraised at the FRU Awards Night in January this year.
I would like to also thank Fiji Rugby in recognising the long-term sustainable work that Cure Kids Fiji has been doing to try and work with some of the greatest illnesses that threaten children here in Fiji. The work that we've been doing over the last 10 years and the projects that we've got going forward.
The Lautoka football side defeated Ba 1-0 in the first leg of the Piles Garments Champion versus Champion series at Churchill Park last night. Zibra Sahib scored the winning goal from the penalty spot. He is the match winner.
Zibra Sahib, 36.5. He plays a long through pass, finding Dave running in guy. Dave on the far side, shields infield, and that is a penalty. Dave gets brought down by Manasa Nawakula. Zibras as Josiah Ratu comes out. Zibras places it, and Zibras has opened the account for the Lautoka side, and Lautoka go up by 1-0.
The Hurricanes beat the Waratahs 38-28 in the lone Super Rugby match last night. Cloudy conditions with showers and thunderstorms were experienced over the western parts of Vanuatu, Yasawa and the Mamanuca group, eastern and interior parts of the country. Elsewhere, fine weather prevailed apart from afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Now in the west, it was mostly sunny with temperatures in the higher 30s. A few showers are expected later tonight. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, more cloudy conditions with a few showers today, more rain expected overnight. And now in Vanuatu, no surprises, more rain and moderate temperatures. Now southeast to northeast winds 15 to 20 knots are expected, moderate to rough seas and moderate southerly swells. For the tides, the next low tide tonight is at 10:26 with a high tide tomorrow morning at 5:20. Sunrise will be at 6:14. Tomorrow's forecast is for cloudy conditions and showers over most places. The west should see some sunshine. Tomorrow's temperatures will see most centres in the mid-30s. As for Monday, cloudy periods with some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands are expected. Elsewhere, fine apart from afternoon or evening showers and isolated thunderstorms. Recapping the main stories, Wales holds back Fiji from quarter-final spot. FSC begins dismantling Penang Mill in Raki, and Human Rights Director Ashwin Raj maintains he won't resign. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. This week, we are asking, should stern action be taken against drunkards on streets? Visit our FBC website to answer. But you can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time, good night.
Warong na Radio Fiji 1. Bulan na rango pina may korabiri nandi. Auto talitaka na warongo na Radio Fiji 1 na programo ni mas masu na mataklailai.
Oya ochone kurinambila mai bunangoru na makete hinga toka kwe do talitakini na warongo na Radio Fiji 1 gena na domo iviti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na domo iviti na bonga ni bienani.